Okay, let's go to YouTube. Okay, we have some people in the house. Thank you very much. We've got Miss Quinny's Playroom. Good evening. Miss B. Washington. Oh, thank you, Quinny. And we got G Mama Grows in the house. Veggie Farm. Thank you for being here. Hey, Barb Brownlee. All Nat Homesteader is here. Ladybug Palmer is in the house. We thank you very much. And I think I called everybody out. Okay. Jean Dudley is here. Hey, Lydia from Best Yet Journey. Thank you so much for being here. Karen Witherspoon, good evening. Gardner 99 is in the house. Thank you. Growing with Jay, thank you for being here. And we got Peaceful Place Garden is in the house. Yeah, I think that's a little bit better. Yeah. And Angela Bowden, thank you. Dale's Home Decor and Garden. Hey, Wanda B, thank you for being here. I appreciate you all very much. And we have some more people that I didn't name in the house. And a lot of times we have people that come in and they don't want to chat, you know. I'm just grateful that they come in, you know. Some people are shyer than others, and they just come in and observe, and I appreciate it. Deborah Smith is here. Susie Polidor is here. Hey, Susie, glad you're here. I'm glad everybody is here. Okay, it's 7:02, so y'all know me. I'm getting ready to get started. And that way, if you have questions, I have more time to answer them for you. Okay, let me go to my notes and see what is on the agenda based upon your emails. Okay, people wanted me to talk more about okra, and also I got an email, or it was one email and one comment about me saying in my last video that Bria was holding some seeds that I took out the freezer. So they wanted me to expound on that. Hi, how you doing, Cherie Benjamin? And they wanted me to expound more on that. Now, so let's start there with the seeds. I saved my seeds several ways. Before the pandemic, I was able to buy seeds, American seeds, for between 2 and 6 cents at all of the dollar stores. But now, you can't hardly find seeds on sale. You may catch some at the Dollar Tree for about 10 cents a package. Hey, Auntia, at the end of the gardening season. Because on the envelopes, they are stamped an expiration date. For example, these seeds, these giant mustard seeds, have to be sold by 12/31/21. And hi, Erica. And if they don't, then they have to put them on sale. Now, most reputable companies will do that. You guys know I love Baker Creek. I like Botanical Interest from my local nursery. That's less than 5 minutes from where I live, and that is Callaway's. And I also buy a few seeds on eBay if I trust the merchant, and I have bought some seeds from Amazon. And it's very rare that I recommend merchants because of this reason. If I have a good experience and I recommend a merchant on eBay and you don't have a good experience, well, then you're looking at me because I'm the one that recommended it. But every now and then, hi Stinky Puddle Ranch, every now and then, I would get an extraordinary merchant and I would share. And that's what I did on my community post a few days ago. I shared that dinner plate yellow dahlia. And I paid, I think I may be wrong, but it was in the post. I think I paid $17.99 for 2 bulbs. And they produce huge dahlias. Okay? So I felt comfortable in sharing that merchant. But I always tell people to go and look at the rating of the person. And if they have a 90, I would say 97% or above, I would consider purchasing things from them. I read the reviews, and also I read if the seeds, cuttings, trees, whatever you buy is returnable. Hi, Deborah White. So if they don't have a money-back guarantee, then I wouldn't purchase from them. But I just thought I'm going to be sharing a little bit more about some of the merchants that I deal with on eBay or Etsy. And I will tell you right off the bat that I bought some seeds from Dan's Permaculture. He has a seed store, and he is in our gardening community. And if you want to write that down, or if somebody, one of my moderators, would please link his websites. And remember, don't come in my live and link people that I don't approve, okay? Only the people that have the blue wrench can do that. And if they see that you've linked somebody else, then they have the authority to retract that link. But right now, I want them to put up Dan's Permaculture Food for us, and then you would look at his videos, and you would go in the description box, and he has his Etsy seed store. And everything that I purchased was excellent. So I highly recommend him. That's why, because I am talking about seeds today. Now, you guys know that a while back I told you the difference in one of my live chats, the difference between genetically modified seeds. I shared with you what a hybrid seed was. And I also, thank you, Antia, and I also shared with you what a heirloom seed is. I personally like to deal with heirloom seeds, and that's tying into what I'm going to talk about today. The reason why I like heirloom seeds is because I can save those seeds year after year after year. And my belief is saving seeds is like printing money. So I'm growing free okra this year. Now, you guys know that last week I talked to you about, that's a rain alert. I talked to you about the benefits of okra. And I'm going to talk about that some more tonight because I did get several emails and several comments about how many to put into a container, and I'm going to get into that, okay? If I get sidetracked, Lilia, I need you to be my hype man. You know how the rappers have, yeah, and to keep the person on the subject. So Lilia, if I get sidetracked, hi Lorraine T. Lydia, I want you to tell me that it's about the okra and how it grows. So I explained all that to you several weeks ago about the 3 categories of seeds, and I told you that when a seed packet says non-MO on it, that is just a marketing gimmick. Thank you, Lydia. Because little farmers like us, or gardeners, food forests in our backyard, we can't even get our hands on genetically modified seeds. Okay? Those are for large manufacturers. So don't even worry about it. Okay? Now, the next thing I want to talk about seeds is this. When you collect them, and what I'm getting ready to say might sound a little juvenile to you, but when you get real busy, it's just like when you start your seeds in pot, Jiffy seed starting mix, or whatever you use. Sometimes you'll mean to label them, and you won't, and you'll get confused until the seeds start putting on their second set of leaves. Anybody been there with me? Where you planted squash, cucumber, maybe, what else is in that family? A watermelon seed, and you got them mixed up because you forgot to label them. When you're collecting seeds, you want to do the same thing. Somebody said that they did that. So it might sound trivial, but I'm telling you, however you collect them, if you collect them in, you take the pod off of the okra and put it in a little bag, like this, or, excuse me, I'll be right back. Or if you take something like this and put it over the whole plant, and then, so you can capture it, whether it's leaning down or what, like I do sometimes with my coneflowers, my, zinnias. And I have so many different varieties that I don't try to label the purple prince from this, from the El Dorado, blah, 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 because it's just too much. But if you have, let's say, mustard greens, and this is a Southern Giant curled one, and this one is a red mustard seed, these seeds are going to look almost identical. So you need to come up with a system when you're bagging up your seeds, whether you're putting them in a pillowcase, if you're going to put them in a bag, a mesh bag like this, or if it's a small plant and you're going to use a little small, I call them fruit bags. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Put a sticker, a label, or a number, and then somebody said they have a mystery tomato. I'm going to still eat them, though. I know that's right, Grandma Grows. And I do that, too. I can be, and in a few weeks, guys, I'm going to be 67. And I could be labeling something, and the phone will call, and it'll be my daughter. I go, okay, I got to take that. And then when I come back, I'll go, okay, what was that? So try to do it as much as you can, a systematic manner of doing things. It becomes a motor skill. When I taught cosmetology for 40 years, I would tell people certain things like manipulating the curling iron, you know, the way you brush out a set or whatever. You start doing it without even thinking it. So if you get in the habit of being very organized, then it'll become second nature and you won't get so many mystery tomatoes. Now, sometimes you can be as organized as you want. Let me tell you about the first year with my seeds starting in the the first year of my retirement, my first greenhouse. Well, when I say greenhouse, I mean larger greenhouse, not those little small ones that you get at Amazon, Tractor Supply, or Aldi's, they are nice for starting off. But my first big greenhouse, it was a flower mound, 10 by 10 by 7. And there was a storm. And I had secured the outside of the greenhouse, but not the stuff inside. And anybody in this chat that will tell you, if you live in an area with high winds, somebody say they have 10 peppers and they don't know what they are until they fruited. Yeah, it happens. Well, I had all this labeled, but a bad storm came in, guys, right? And turned over my seed table. So when I got out there the next morning, I had to scoop up and put stuff back to where I thought it was. But you know what? I turned it into a game, and it was called Mystery Seedlings. And it wasn't until the second set of leaves came on for some of them that I was able to determine what they are. Because there are some seedlings like cucumbers and squash that have a real pungent smell even when they're in the early stages. And so you can kind of identify them. But some of the tomatoes, some of the peppers, like the person just said, Mimi, Cora, she said about she has the 10 peppers and didn't know what they were until they fruited. Some of them I didn't know until the tomatoes fruited. And then I could figure out to the best of my ability. So be very careful, have a systematic manner of the way you label things. And if you want to take shortcuts, you can have a journal, you can have a diagram. I stopped writing out long names for the zinnias, and I just named them number 1, number 2, number 3. And then in my journal, I put what those numbers were. And if you're starting seeds outside of your home in a greenhouse or even on your patio, if it's real windy, I watch your videos. You all might not think I watch them. I may not watch every second of them, but a lot of them I'm watching when I'm making my natural hair and skincare products. I'm watching or listening, okay? And a lot of you have gotten stuff mixed up, so I find that it's imperative for me to bring this information to you so that it will assist you going further. How many of you here right now, just raise your hand and tell me if you mixed up some seeds and didn't know what they were? I'm going to give you a minute to talk. Who's mixed up some seeds before? Except I know about Mimi. Lynn says she just organized her seeds in tubes and she's loving this method. Very good. Got a lot of hands going up. Miss Queenie, Nella's. Hey, Nella. Angela Bowden, Janet is in the house, Root Shoots and Garden Boots, Lorraine T, Miss B. Washington. So yeah, so come up with a strategy and a backup plan. And you will find that you won't be so discombobulated, okay? Now, next thing I want to tell you is, if you haven't already, you need to start organizing, going through your seeds and seeing what you're going to start planting for the fall. I know it's going to sound crazy, but now is the time to plan what we're going to grow in the fall. And I want you to take into consideration that you can no longer do what Mama and them did. Because the weather, whether people want to deny it or not, is changing. Right now, I don't know if you can see this. It's backwards, but you can read it. It's 74 degrees in my greenhouse. With the shade cloth on and there's no sun outside. We're supposed to have 100-degree weather. Now, I'm not fussing. I thank you, Lord, for letting us have this reprieve in the weather and get a cool break. But in Detroit and in the Midwest, they're having extreme flooding and 100-degree temperatures. And so we're getting the temperatures in Texas that they normally get. And we're getting what they normally get. It's unheard of for it to be 74 degrees in Texas in June, the end of June. So now, hey, Lioncrest, so now we have to rethink and re-strategize how we're going to do things. So remember last week, I told you guys that I'm not going to grow Lydia, because you amen me on that. Cabbage, broccoli, and cauliflower. I'm going to start some. Because we have up until now until the 4th, the weather is going to be real cool. So it's not going to burn up. And you don't have to have it in your grow room in your house running up electricity with your grow lights. So a lot of times we see things that we're not going to do, but things change. And we have to adapt and bend with the changes in the weather patterns. Because it's crazy out here. I mean, I was out here this morning and it was 70 degrees. I couldn't believe it. I didn't even break a sweat working. So I'm revamping my whole greenhouse. And I'll share that with you in the video probably Wednesday or Thursday. Now, last week, I didn't put out too many videos. And you guys know that I got 3 jobs. Okay? And so I was blessed to have a lot of orders. So I didn't do a lot of videos. But I promise you that I'm going to be getting with it. Always at Homemaker 75 here this week. Wow. Yeah, I don't know exactly where you're from, but for you to say that, you're letting me know that that is extraordinary. It's unheard of. Because usually we have triple-digit temperatures in North Texas right now with a heat index to 115. Now, the highest temperature, I think, was like 113, 15 days in a row. But the heat index was much more, and it burns your crops. So if you are in zone 8A and you're experiencing unusually cool weather, I'm going to recommend that you don't wait until July to start your seeds for your fall. Take into consideration, hi Joyce, that you have cooler weather now. And you might want to consider planting a little bit earlier. Okay. Now, I got to go and see because I gave all my brassicas away. Most of them, you know, the cauliflower, cabbage, and broccoli. I have collards and mustards and turnips and all that stuff. Okay? So, anyway, Angel Love is here. Thank you. She's a little late, but we're glad you're here. So, now, we talked about GMO seeds, non-GMO. We talked about hybrids, and we talked about heirloom. And I already talked about genetically modified, but I didn't talk about hybrids. The reason why hybrids could be a good thing for you, if you live in a climate like I do, normally it's real hot. There are a few things that are hybrids that I will buy. I know in Michigan, I know until you all got flooding. Trust me, one of my relatives are up north. Y'all got flooding. Who is that? Cherie, at home with Cherie. Beautiful, sweet young lady. She's in Minnesota. Garden zone 4 or 5. Almost 100-degree weather. Come on now, something wrong. Something wrong, y'all. So we gotta go with the flow. So I talked about those hybrids, but I wanted to talk a little bit. Your battery is running low. Oh, okay. Give me a minute. I gotta, let me see. I gotta find the cord to my battery. It must not be plugged in. On my PC. I hate to do that. I think it's all right now. Yeah, Cherie has almost 100-degree temperatures. Wow. And we went from 80s to 90s to over 100 degrees overnight. And some of my stuff fried because I couldn't get it all covered. I'm only one person. Now, talking about those hybrids are especially made to... Okay, I see Lynn has a question. I want to hold your questions toward the end, Lynn, and put them in all caps. Okay? Or when I break and say, I can take your questions. Okay? For example, Early Girl and Celebrity tomatoes are two hybrid tomatoes that I grow. I don't save the seeds from them. I buy those from the seed company. They are, Dan is telling me it's 100 degrees in Minnesota. I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. Hey, Nana, thank you for your wisdom. You got your products. Thank you, and your pain cream works. Yes, ma'am, thank you. You see my face lit up. I love hearing that. And if you email me that, I'll put it on my website because I'm behind. I got so much stuff to do. I'm a one-woman operation. I do my website. Y'all know. I'm thank God. I'm not complaining. But I like that dress. It's very sporty. Oh, thank you, Betsy. It's a caftan. It's a short caftan. Thank you. And Dan is in the house. I was just talking about you, Dan, and telling him to go to your channel and check out your seed store. But that Early Girl and that Celebrity, they grow very well in cooler weather as well as warmer weather, and they're disease resistant. So those were the smaller little, almost perfect little tomatoes that you saw me harvesting in the beginning of my tomato harvest. Though that's what they are. Okay, they don't produce as well or are big tomatoes like some of the beef steak. Hey, Brenda Allen, 91 in Michigan today. I'm telling you. Thank you, Brenda. And and it don't taste as good because I've got a lemon kind of tomato that tastes, guys, it is good. I'm going to make a lemon, pineapple, honey, tomato jam. And then I got that Amana orange that I'm going to use with red pepper flakes and make a spicy tomato jam. And I'm going to make all these and share all of this with you all. So let's make sure I get all the information about the seeds. There is a need for hybrids, but don't save those seeds because it's just like buying something from the grocery store. You're not going to know what you're going to get if you save those seeds and then grow some more. Okay? It may not be exactly from the fruit that you took it from. Okay, now let me show you how I store seeds. I told you guys that I put some in the freezer. My new seeds that I ordered are sitting out because I'm going to be starting them soon. You see this little container? I bought this from the Container Store years ago. And you'll see individual little bags inside of here. And it flips open like a suitcase. And it goes into the freezer. And inside of these are small bags where I have all of my flower seeds together. And then I have like all of my pepper seeds together. And then I have like my tomato seeds together. Okay? Hey, Container Crops. And so when I started doing my lives, all of the seeds that I thought I wasn't going to grow anymore, I started giving them away to the lucky winners during the live. And then last year I started this, but my company took off so quickly that I couldn't finish it. And these are test tubes, okay? And I got this on Amazon, and what I do is I cut the package, and you see that is the great white tomato, and then I put the seeds in here. Now, out of the seeds that I'm going to save, I'll put them great white tomato, but it would be in a different container with a label on it, okay? And these can go in the bag and go in the freezer as well. Okay, so here you see the Southern Giant Mustard. Well, I'm planning on growing much more, so I ordered some more. In other words, what I'm trying to say is I keep separate the seeds that are new. So this little black label lets me know that came from Breaker Creek. Anyone that has a label, let's say it's clear. And this is the Vulcan Swiss Chard. This is the second generation. Let me move back. I think you can see it. Everybody feel me? So I don't know what is what. Because my zinnias usually show out. I don't know if it was the rain or if it was the quality of the seeds, but I know they didn't show out like they normally do. Okay? And I got those seeds from Baker Creek. Now, in case you don't know, Baker Creek does not manufacture all of their seeds or harvest all their seeds from their acres in their farm area. They subcontract out to other people too. So maybe the seeds that some of those zinnia seeds weren't as, I don't know, heirloomy as they normally would be. Somebody say they had a problem with their zinnias garden with Bernie. Yeah, see, you know, that's how you know. You got to keep these first and second generation seeds separate so you can't say, oh, they didn't act well because I collected them from a species. No, this came directly from a company. Okay? All right. So that's how I save seeds. And greetings, Nature 9 and family. Another way, I told you I freeze them. I told you I put them in test tubes when I'm going to be using them frequently. I don't keep this in the freezer. But if I'm done for the season, I'll put it in the freezer. The other thing, somebody said something about Baker Creek zinnias didn't do well. Let me see. Didn't produce well for her. Peaceful Place Garden. And I love Baker Creek. But whoever they got those zinnias from, they didn't show out this year. In fact, I think I said in the video, I'm putting them on punishment. I don't think I'm going to grow hardly any next year. I'm going to give it a break. Okay? But I do think that the pandemic had something to do with it. Because you can't find seeds on sale like you used to. And you can't find a lot of supplies like you used to. I look at you guys' videos, and some of you all have some dollar stores and Family Dollar, Dollar General, and the Dollar Tree. Y'all have some stuff in there that's out of sight. They don't have none of that in my area. And there are about 3 of them, and I've been to them. They may have a little, and people bum rushed and got it all, because a lot of people are growing food for the very first time. Okay? So that could be a reason. But I don't see all this stuff that I be seeing in your videos. A lot of you all have some very good bargains that you're getting at these dollar stores. I used to get seeds 2 cents to 6 cents. Not anymore. Can't find anything on sale. So I hope I've explained how I save seeds. And I do put some seeds in mason jars, like marigolds that you get a lot of seeds from. I do that. All the okra I'm going to be growing this year is 2nd or 3rd generation seeds. I don't buy a lot of seeds. And the few that I do buy, as I said in the beginning of this live, I get from my local nursery, and those are botanical interest. A few seeds off of eBay, Etsy, and Amazon. But Baker Creek is my #1 source, online source. Okay? All right. Are there any questions about how I save seeds and collect them? And I explained to you how I put the bags on them, blah, 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 blah. I'm an old school cosmetology educator, so I always wrap up a lecture when I do theory is by reviewing, in case somebody come in late, okay? So right now, if you have any questions about how to save seeds, make sure they're thoroughly dry. That's why I put the mesh bags on them. You could also put them in a brown paper bag and shake them up. Some seeds, like mustard seeds, they are very, very tiny, and they're very tedious. So if you have children or grandkids, you know, pay them a couple bucks. I wrote Bria and Brian out a check today for helping me last Thursday and today. And they're so excited. Bria hugs me. Her mom's getting ready to pick her up, and she says, do we get paid today? Yes, I'm going to watch the replay. Can you recap the freezer part? It's in the replay. You'll catch it, babe. It'll take a lot of time. I just put this big, real quickly, Nature 9, I use this great big container here, and then I have individual little bags. And I separate my seeds. And but when I put them back in the freezer, I zip them up. make sure there's no moisture. So I put all my sunflower seeds together. And just to give you an example, like here's some of the ones that I got from Baker Creek. And these flowers, I didn't even see them. I saw the little, this is what I saw. The little seeds that I got real cheap. I didn't see these beautiful zinnias like I normally see. Now, it could have been because we had a whole lot of rain. I could have did something. I don't know. I don't think it was me. But I'm not perfect. All I know is me and a whole lot of people saying that they didn't perform the way they normally would. I don't know. I don't know what happened. Okay? Maybe they were old. I don't know. But I do know you can freeze seeds. This is something that I got from my grandmother. She used to freeze stuff in a mason jar. Yes. Okay. I'm looking for any other questions about the seeds. You all know the difference. Hi, Renee. You know the difference in the 3 categories of seeds. You know how to collect them. You know, don't store them in plastic if they are not all the way dry. Let them dry out. That's why you should have this mesh bag. Okay, let me get the question. I'll go back and get it. Let me find the question. Barbie's saying the beetles are eating up her leaves. She sprinkled with DE. Very good. You can do that, Barb. I didn't have no issue with that. But even if I did, I couldn't sprinkle DE on it. Diatomaceous earth, because we got so much rain, April, May, up until a week or so ago, that once the water hits the DE, diatomaceous earth, it's ineffective. It has to be on dry product. So yes, I have it, but I only use that in the summertime. Somebody had a seed question, Ty Lily, earlier. Okay, I'm gonna go back and see if I can find it, Ty Lily. Yeah, Angel, she was ready for her check. Do you have to soak cucumber seeds to save them? You might want, you're talking about, I call it gook. That gook stuff that's in with the cucumber, in with the squash, in with tomatoes that surround the seeds. Just rinse them off real well. I use a mesh strainer, and I just take my sprayer. That fan is making my allergies messed up. And I take my sprayer, and I just spray real good, sift them, and just do that over and over and over. And sometimes after they dry a little bit, I will do that. And you have to make sure what you put them on. You can't put them on like a paper towel, because a paper towel, they'll stick to it. If they have any of that, I call it gook, whatever. And I use a styrofoam or a china, regular, plate. Okay? All right. Okay, going back to see if I can find, I got zinnia seeds from House Tools and Dollar Tree that did great. First time growing flowers in the garden. Thank you, Angela. I've seen a couple people with Hoss seeds, H-O-S-S. I've never purchased any. I'm going to try them out. Okay, Ty Lily, please put your question again. I went back to where you're speaking to everybody, and I don't see it. Okay. Container crops. Oh, somebody saying they thaw their seeds to room temperature and they work. Yeah, how many of y'all seen documentaries on TV where they found a squash seed that was 2,500 years old and then they unthawed it and it works. It works. I don't have no issues with seeds being in the freezers. Oh, great, Lydia, thank you. Episode 273, how to grow cheap, healthy food in your fall emergency garden. Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Okay, I don't see that question about the seeds. Okay, but I was talking, Dream Traveler says, It's humid, still raining in Detroit. Some areas you got flooding. I heard about that. And it's causing total havoc with my garden. And we're going to have to all rethink and adapt on how we grow food. You're exactly right. So it jumped from 88 to 92 to 100. Then I had to run out there and get all of my covers, my cloth, shade cloths on, 90% and 50% shade cloth. Now I had to take everything down because the temperature is down to 74 degrees about right now. So, I mean, we just got to adapt. If I leave the shade cloth on, they're not going to have enough sun to create photosynthesis, and they're not going to be able to grow the way they need to grow. I'm looking for the weather. It is currently 75 degrees in North Texas. That is unheard of. And the high tomorrow is only going to be 85 degrees. Unheard of. Yeah, you're concerned about with diseases. Okay, what I can tell you that you can do is, there's a product, and you don't have to get these because you can use something else, but I'm going to share with you. It's called Serenade. It's an antifungal, and you can do a preventative spray with a real weak solution of it. I think you're supposed to put a tablespoon in a quart of water. You probably could do a teaspoon. And just go out there when you don't have any rain and spray a little bit, and do a foliar spray, and that may help you. The other thing that you can do is you can take milk and water. Let's say 2 parts milk and 8 parts water, and use that for a foliar spray. That'll get powdery mildew. If you have one of those strands that will be affected by that, because I had something in my food forest that was resistant to the milk and water or baking soda and water. But now you all know when we had that, I'm calling it now the super freeze of 2021 in February. Guess what happened? For the first time in about 10 years, I didn't get that hard strand of powdery mildew. So some good came out of that. I lost 2 lime trees. Thank you, Susie. I lost 2 lime trees, 2 improved Meyer lemon trees, my humongous, giant, 12-foot Utah Gold pomegranate tree. Pomegranate, I always say that word wrong, so what? I lost my Gala apple tree. I lost a Red Delicious apple tree. I lost a cherry tree. And a lot of perennials, okay? But you all blessed me with cash apps and donations that I received from the Super Chats and my Cash App. And I took that money. I was a little paranoid about going into stores, but I made a video when I finally did it, and I replaced it with another improved Meyer lemon, and I bought a, what kind? Lisbon lemon. I bought a Arctic Freeze Aurorian Satsuma. I bought a grapefruit tree. I bought 2 Stella trees, Stella cherry trees. I didn't replace the apple trees because I still had 5 more. But I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do from here going forward. I'm going to replace trees with trees that grow good right in my backyard. Time out for experimenting. I lost 1 fig died all the way down to the ground, brown turkey fig, but it's coming back. And I lost half of a brown turkey fig. I don't know why I lost half, because it was only a pencil-sized cutting about this big when I first got them, unrooted cuttings off of eBay. So it wasn't like it was 2 trees in one hole. I see people doing that. And I might have lost some other things I can't think of right now, but I lost a lot. And I put on a brave front, but I was devastated. I was just so hurt, but I couldn't come on here on Monday night and start crying about everything I lost, because I knew that God blessed me with it one time, he can bless me with it again, okay? don't forget to talk about your okra. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. That's where I'm going. After all the questions, see, Thomas says she also, or he had to remove the shade cloths from the tomatoes. Right. Okay, so now I'm moving on to okra. Now, I told you last week why I grow okra. I told you I have stage 3 kidney disease. People in my family, when they get my age, they go on dialysis. I shared with you all that I'm pre-diabetic. My A1C at one time was 6.8, and now it's 6.3, so I don't take any medication. And my family members be on insulin or metformin. Okra. If you are predisposed to that, you need to be growing okra and making okra tea, putting okra in your soups and your stews. And you simply make it by, because somebody asked me what I'll explain it again. You take 4 pods of fresh okra and you cut off the part that connects to the plant, that little stem, and you cut that little tip off. Then you take a fork or a knife and you prick holes in that okra, fresh okra. And you put it into a room temperature glass of water, cover it, and let it stay there overnight. Then you strain it and you drink it. It will slow down your A1C and prevent you from getting diabetes. I can eat it fresh right out of the garden. I was eating some this morning. I go out there and I have my breakfast. Couple strawberries. Y'all hear me? Some okra. And I ate 2 nectarines. I'll show it to you in the video. I think I'll drop it either Wednesday or Thursday. I just go out and have fresh fruit. Then I come in if I want to have some oatmeal, or I like cream of wheat, a little hot cereal sometimes in the morning. It just stays with me that I can go out there and work and work and work and don't worry about nothing until lunchtime. And then lunchtime, I go out there and I get me some. I don't have any more lettuce now because when it turned 80 degrees, it bolted, but I got the seeds for my butter crunch. So right now I'm eating Swiss chard and I shred it. I'm tell you what I had for dinner. I stir-fried me some shrimp from Whole Foods. I have it delivered to the house. Put a little butter in the pan. Cooked the shrimp for 3 minutes. Took it out. Put some chopped up garlic. Can't digest onions really well. And put some red wine in there. It cooks off the alcohol. And poured that over some cauliflower rice. Then I put some of the cold shrimp on my salad, put a little ranch on it. I had a good meal. Good meal. And it was healthy. And I don't use salt. Now, you can use Himalaya salt. You can use a little pickling salt. You can use a little salt. But I just don't because of the medication I take. Thank you, Container Crops. And I know Pam is a chef. She loves to cook. So we can grow this food in our backyard and get off of some of this medicine. Yeah, yeah, the wine, the alcohol cooks off in the wine. All right, speaking of that, I called my baby son, the one Andre, the big guy, tall, 6'4", the barber, the business owner, and asked him, can he come by here and just pick up 10 bricks for me because I load them up on my dolly and this is so hard for me. He said, okay, Mama, I'll be there. You need anything else? I said, yes, I want do you call it a fifth? I think I called it a quart. I want a quart of rum and a quart of vodka. He know I don't even drink alcohol. What you want that for, Mama? You having a party? Because I got a birthday coming up. I said, no, I want to make some extracts from my fruits. That's, you know, getting ready to be harvested. So I don't have enough to can. But next year, I know, and the year after, the harvest will be better. The first couple of years, guys, when you get fruit, it can be devastating to you because the wind and the rain and some of it just falls off. What the roots tell the tree they can't handle, it'll abort it. So you can have a whole lot of fruit, but don't count your chickens before they hatch because it may not hang on, okay? We covered up fruit today. I had a couple of apples up here, and some of them dropped off while we were trying to put the little mesh bags on them. So don't get upset. Just be patient and just know that there's going to come a time where you're going to have so much fruit that you're not going to be able to can and freeze it all, and you're going to be giving it away. Okay? So let's get back to the okra. I was telling you how you make the okra tea, and you guys know that you can pickle it, you can stir fry it, you can put it in soups and stews. Let's talk about growing it. Those of you that are in areas where you can do in-ground growing, you can grow okra in almost any type of soil. Sure can. If you're going to grow it in the ground, like Best Yet, Journey, I saw her sowing okra seeds a couple weeks ago. What she's going to have to do now is when those seeds get that second or third set of leaves, because they're going to get bigger, she's going to have to go around those plants and supplement it with either homemade compost or some black cow to give it some more nutrition. Now, it'll grow okay in any soil that you have, but if you want it to be vigorous in its production of okra pods, then you want to go ahead on and give it some nutrition. Guys, I don't buy any fertilizers anymore. I buy garden lime to prevent bloxity and rot, because I find that my azomite rock dust that have the 92 minerals in it, my mycorrhizal fungi that I now get in my wood chips, and my comfrey Russian blocking 14 has all of the nutrients that I need except for calcium. And I supplement that with organic garden lime. And I pulverize my eggshells, banana peels, and my little K-pods for my Keurig, my decaf coffee. Okay? And I supplement that in my yard. And of course, my homemade compost, or my favorite, if I don't have enough, black cow. I don't buy fertilizers. I don't have to. Once you get that soil real rich, hi Yolanda, good to see you. You don't have to keep buying all these miracle products. Now I see people doing it, but I'm telling you, if you build up your soil, you won't need all that other stuff. Today, Brian and I chopped and dropped comfrey. And I don't want to tell you everything that I did because you won't watch the video. But I will say this. I sat in a chair, bent down, cut it up. Brian scooped it up, took his hands with gloves, pulled back the wood chips from my trees all around the perimeter, put the comfrey down in a circle around, away from the trunk of the tree. Then spread the wood chips back on top of the comfrey. And it's going to decay and brown, and every time it rains and every time I water it, I'm putting all the nutrition that my tree needs. I don't have to give it all this extra stuff. I did buy chelated iron for my calamandan tree because I thought it had died, but it came back in the freeze. And it wasn't outside, it was in the house. But I had to heat the house with boiling water and the fireplace, so I couldn't keep it warm enough for it not to go into shock. But it's making it. And my Miho Satsuma was in the greenhouse, and the lowest temperature it got out there when it was 3 degrees was 19, because didn't have any power for 26 hours. Okay? So, but it pulled through. But it came out real vigorous with a lot of fruit. It was 70 pieces of fruit on it. I got about 10 now. Because the root said, I can't handle this. And it dropped. Every day it was dropping fruit. Do I get upset? No. I'm over all of that, of getting upset every time some fruit fall down. But I do get upset when the birds get it. I got mad as hell. Oh, I said hell, didn't I? That's in the Bible. I got mad as hell while I was working in the greenhouse garden bed, and I said, oh, wait a minute, you're going to see it in the video. And I creeped to the back. There was a bird on my apple tree eating an apple, and the owl right there on the fence had not distracted it. And I told you, you have to keep moving them around. So obviously, turning it wasn't enough. I'm going to have to put more stakes in the ground so I can keep them birds off of my apples. So I called my son-in-law and I said, hey, are you bringing Brian and Bria today? Because I knew they had swimming lesson at 8 o'clock. And he said, yeah. And he came over. Can I still buy comfrey from you? Unicorn lady, I don't sell comfrey. But I am going to give pieces of it away this fall. Okay, and you'll get a chance to win it. But you can go on eBay where I bought my original comfrey from and get you some little cuttings. The smallest piece of a cutting will root and grow. And so I'll get this question, Ty Lily, about the cedar wood chips around the fruit trees. So yeah, so we chopped and dropped the comfrey after Brian moved the wood chips away, and then he put the wood chips back on top of the comfrey to keep the wind and the rain from, blowing it away. And that's all the fertilizers that tree would get. All of my apple trees, all the ones in containers, the pear tree, we did them all the same way today. Okay, somebody asked me a question about the wood chips. Okay, Ty Lily, is it okay to use cedar wood chips around fruit trees as mulch? I never have it. You're going to have to Google the pH. Because I'm almost certain that cedar, and somebody in here, if you know, correct me. Or is it pine? I don't know, guys. Off the bat of my head, I can't answer that question. Oh, I can Google it real quick. I know pine would change the pH. Will SEDAR wood chips alter pH? Fruit trees. Let's see what we got. Okay, it's saying that you can use it, but not for young trees. So it could be one of the worst things that you put any mulch around a young tree. Now, I put my fruit trees in containers. I bought 2 Stella cherries from Fast Growing Trees because I saw my nephew broke Farmer 76. And I told you I lost one during the big freeze of 2021. And Stella is self-fertile. Stella cherry tree, meaning that it doesn't need another pollinator, another variety for the bees or the wasp or whatever to cross-pollinate it, okay? So I bought 2 of them to save on free shipping. But the Stella will cross-pollinate with my Rainier and my Windsor Sweet. They got flowers on them this year, and they got a nice girth on them, but my Stella died in the freeze, so I didn't have nothing to cross-pollinate them. And 2 sweet cherries, the Rainier and the Windsor, can't cross-pollinate. So you got to really do your homework, and you got to figure out what tree that you need to purchase to cross-pollinate another tree. So my Stellas are what I'm going to get back to where I was. My Stellas are in 2 containers at my back door, so that I can go out there and put the 50% shade cloth on them whenever it gets too hot. Because normally, I would not even put a tree in a container or the ground in North Texas this time of the year. But because I saw it on Broke Farmer 76 and I wanted it, I went on ahead and did it. And I'm watching them, and every few days I scrape down a little bit and make sure it's still green. Most of the leaves are falling off, but they're going to grow back. And I don't put any wood mulch on them. And by the way, since we're talking about wood mulch, I don't mulch any citrus tree with wood chips. It's too heavy. For the simple reason they have a shallow root system and they have feeder roots at the top of the surface of the tree. And you don't want heavy wood chips on top of that. I use leaf mulch for that. All citrus trees, leaf mulch. And I accidentally fibbed. I do buy citrus tree fertilizer for my young citrus trees when I first get them. And that's just what it's called. Citrus tree fertilizer on the box. And it's like a brown cardboard box. And it's, I get it on Amazon. And one more thing. I do buy, and it's not really a fertilizer, but I do buy a soil acidifier, a little bag. Hey, babe, how you doing, Broke Farmer? I buy that, a soil acidifier, when I want to lower the pH of raspberries, mulberries, blueberries. Everybody with me? And you can also, strawberries can grow in the pH between 6.5 and 7, but they also can grow a little bit lower. But I added more to my garden this year. I added some blackberries, and I ordered 3 blueberry plants from Stock Brothers. And for the first time, I got some product from Stock Brothers that was dead on arrival. And they usually tell you to wait the next year. And after they got the email from me telling them that I don't need to wait a year to see that these trees are dead on arrival, there's no green. And you changed the shipping date. And they, anyway, they gave me my credit and I ordered something else. I'll tell you what I ordered. I ordered 2 LSU gold fig trees with that credit and 1 purple. And if I had seen my nephew's video about the strawberry fig, if they had that, I would have ordered just 1 LSU gold and 1 strawberry fig tree. But the reason why I ordered the LSU gold, 2 of them, is because birds will start pecking on my brown turkey figs as soon as they start ripening. But the LSU gold, it doesn't get red or purple or anything like that. It stays a greenish gold color, and so that's why I went with that. Because my grandkids love figs. And I didn't grow up with figs. Only thing I knew about a fig was a fig Newton, the cookie. I didn't know what a fig was. So I'm exposing them to more things than I was exposed to. I grew peanuts. So my grandchildren, I haven't done it in 2 years. So my grandchildren can see that the peanuts are grown in the ground and we harvested them, we roasted them, we ground them up and made peanut butter so they can know. These kids today, they are real picky. They're not like us. I ate sunflower seeds. My grandkids won't eat them. It is what it is. Okay, but I did see a question. Let me go back. Hey, love notes. Thank you so kindly. That's probably what happened to my fruit trees. I added fruit trees. Mary Campbell. I think you're probably saying too much mulch. Okay. Auntie said, my husband expanded my garden space. It's like he attracted all the animals' attention. Birds, squirrels, it's going to be a fight. Yeah. Yeah, if they know you growing stuff, they're going to come in, and you can't blame them. Now, I heard somebody say, excuse me, my mouth getting real dry. I heard somebody say they don't spray their trees at all. Okay, that's good. I want my fruit. I don't care if you take 1 or 2, But you ain't gonna, I hear people talking they cleaned up overnight, got all their fruit. No, that ain't gonna happen. Well, if it happens, you know, it's because I was sick or something, and I couldn't cover it or protect it. I'm not gonna say it's not gonna happen, but I hope it doesn't happen. Somebody said that, don't spray, I'm laughing. Oh, okay, Farmer Q. Yeah, said that he not gonna, somebody said they're not gonna spray their trees at all. Is, you know, the birds and blah, blah, they gotta eat too. Yeah, I know they do. But they're not supposed to get more than me. They didn't buy that tree. They didn't buy the tree. They didn't prune that tree. They didn't water that tree. They didn't chop that country down and do all the stuff that we need to do. You, Lady Cheryl, can you use the product you talked about? Okay, I gotta go back and get it. Lady Cheryl, can you use the product you talked about using in the container garden on the patio? Yes. If you're talking about everything that I mentioned, yes, ma'am. And the more it rains, the more in a container garden that you gotta add. You gotta put some compost around your products. You gotta put your eggshells, your banana water. Let me go get it. I'm gonna show you what it looks like. I'm not playing, people. I can't bring everything to the table. This is banana water, coffee, and eggshells. I hope it don't leak out, because this is a freezer. I got one for every one of my fruit trees. Y'all hear me? This is in addition to comfort. This is an addition. Somebody said they got 24 chickens. The same reason Fox came. Oh man, no. Now, if you got chickens or rabbits, you can put that on now. But horse manure and cow manure, they're hot. Don't go and put that on your yard or your around your trees and in your garden beds. Unless you really trust the source, let it age. That's why I like that black cow, because I've never had anything to go bad with me with black cow in the yellow bag. And they ran out of it during the beginning of the pandemic when I was doing my emergency garden. Because I used to have enough compost just for myself. But when I was growing food through my emergency garden for everybody that, you know, I could help, I ran out of compost, so I had to go buy the black cow. But yeah, so I have one of these for every tree that I own. Do y'all hear me? And I pulverize it. So the eggshells, the banana, and the decaf coffee used K-pods. I can't juggle, but I just brought 3 of them out to show it to you. And so, I have a potassium deficiency, so I eat a banana every day. So what do I do with those leaves, those banana peels? Put them in some water. Okay. Hi, Lady Cheryl and all. Yes, I received my 2 lemons trees from Stark Brothers Saturday. All right, Siobhan, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. Okay. Did I get everybody's question? Did I miss somebody? So now, with my homemade compost or my supplemental compost of black cow, my banana peels, my eggshell. Let me back up. I got a video on how I made all this stuff. I didn't tell you this. Do not go buy you a can of coffee. It has to be used coffee. It'll be too strong if you put that on your plants. I have to make sure I say that. Now, let's talk about the eggshells. I rinse them out in hot water and get all the egg yolk because I don't want to be transferring any diseases that can come from the egg. Then I put them in the microwave and I nuke them for a minute. I nuke them for a minute. And then I put them in the blender and I crush up the eggshells. Then I add my banana water into the blender. And then I add my K-Pods. My K-Pods are right here. Let me go get them for you real quick. Do not take your K-Pods and put them in a bag. Because if you do, they're going to mold. You see that? So you want them to air out. And then you can just take and then knock them in there. Because if you don't, they'll set up mold and you'll be growing all type of fungus in there. Okay? Now, if you want to know what I do with my banana peels, sometimes I just put them in the top of my compost outside because it's so hot. Or I put them in a 5-gallon bucket and let them dry outside. But don't leave them around in your house because if you get any kind of fruit fly or a gnat, they'll multiply real quick. Okay? Sometimes I take them and put them in a bag and I put them in my freezer if I got room in there. Okay? So when you're making this solution, this has been made about 2 months ago. Okay? Use what you have. We don't throw anything away. We use what we can. The only time I throw something away that I'm putting up in the garden is it looks sick, fungus, or disease. Or if I suspect that I have blight. Because I had a lot of blight in my trees that was getting too much nitrogen. Okay? And so I had to keep cutting my fruit trees down, And I was thinking about something today as we were bagging up the fruit. Here's a little book, and I went back on Amazon. I bought it in 2018. Grow a Little Fruit Tree. Some of you may not like what I'm getting ready to say, but I gotta be honest. You see this lady on the cover? You see how short her fruit tree is? Sometimes we think we gotta have humongous trees. I'm getting ready to cut down all of mine, except for a couple that I'm gonna use for like a canopy to shade bushes and grow boxes like the strawberries and I added gooseberries. I know what I was gonna say. I wanted to tell y'all I added gooseberries. Angels Loves Gardening saying there's only 74 likes and 50 more people in the chat, and y'all didn't hit the like button. Okay, now y'all do take care of that real quick. And who is that? Love Note says she used her K-Pods too. Go on, girl. Yeah, I keep this little box right on my counter. Now, if I'm having company or something, I'll go take it and put it in the pantry. But it's been the pandemic. Ain't nobody coming over here but my daughter and my son-in-law for a hot minute. I ain't having no Sunday dinners and things like that, okay? So, that stuff is over until everybody is, we through with this and everybody is, in my opinion, vaccinated. Now, I know some people don't want to get vaccinated. I don't want to get all into that, you know. I'm just saying, but I did. And my daughter and her husband and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I'm going to cut them trees down. Can y'all see that? Go to Amazon and check this little book out. This book is wonderful. And it shows you how to plant like a bare root tree, how to heal them over until you ready to plant them. I'm telling you, I don't make no money. I don't have no Amazon store. I'm not getting no commission. I turned down a whole lot of people want me to test out their products and sign a contract saying that I'll give them 5 good reviews. What if I don't like it? I'm sorry, I have integrity. I told you guys I would never have a real huge YouTube channel because I'm going to tell you like T.I. is. That's just me. I'm 67 years old. That's for them young whippersnappers. That's, you know, all I want to see is my fruit trees mature and I enjoy them enough I can send my sister a box of lemons. I can send my brother some nectarines. I'm getting emotional. That's all I'm trying to do. And show my grandkids where peanut butter came from and Okay, Miss Cheryl, what is a good prevention spray for blight? Bougie, it is Serenade. Serenade is systematic. You spray it down at the bottom and then do a foliar spray and it'll go all through your plant. Now, don't confuse blight with paper plate. Put the coffee pods in a paper plate to dry out. Good idea, love notes. Don't confuse blight with root rot. Because if you get an excessive amount of water in a rainy climate like I had, I'll get you, urban girl gardener. You may think you got blight, but you actually got root rot. I did a video on that where you literally, if you can find it for me, where you put and put it up, when you push all of your mulch back, put some compost, give them more nutrients, because when it rains and rains and rains, it pushes all the nutrients out of the container down in your hose, that drainage hose, or it pushes it way down in the earth if you do a garden bed, a raised elevated garden bed. So you have to keep feeding it. And so a lot of times it'll get real yellow because it's going into shock because the roots are rotting. But blight will travel all the way and it'll be inside of your tomato itself. So when I saw all of my leaves getting yellow, I just started cutting. Y'all, I was working like a dog. And Brian and Bria came over and grabbed them and put them all up. And we composted those yellow leaves. But if you have a fungal infection and you got that white powdery mildew, you don't put that into your compost. You just keep spreading the fungus. It'll lie dormant. And when the conditions are favorable again, they will come out. But I told you, when it got down to 3 degrees, I haven't gotten any powdery mildew fungus this year. And the kind that I had spores, because you can see them in the greenhouse. Little spores, little strings with little spores on it. Like a dandelion weed. It was so bad. And it gets into your soil. And then the wind blows it and moves it all the way around. So I'm hoping that it won't come back. Another thing with the rain I did different this year, I sprayed neem oil about every other day. Whenever it stopped raining, I just kept spraying because the white flies was taking over. But in between the rain, that's what's one good thing about Texas. When it's warm, thank you, Beshette, thank you, Lydia. Check that video out she just put up, and it'll show you. Getting back to the nutrients, my powdery mildew will get on okra. Serenade, milk and water, baking soda and water. But getting back to where was I? Where was I, guys? Somebody help me. Getting back to the little tree. The name of this book is Grow a Little Fruit Tree. I bought dwarf trees when I didn't have to buy dwarf trees. You can take a tree on a regular rootstock and just prune it excessively to keep that tree below 6 feet or 5 feet. Hey, Rob from SEO Family Garden, one of my favorite channels on YouTube. I love family. And that's why Hands in the Dirt touched my heart. When I saw him giving Mama and them, I wish my mother was alive so I can give her some of my greens and stuff. And when I see people growing and giving, they have a compassionate heart. And his motto is, I don't even know if he's in here, but y'all check his channel out, Hands in the Dirt. If you got some seeds, put them in the dirt. I really admire that young man. He kind of reminds me of like he could be my son. So don't take this the wrong way when this old lady talking about she admires somebody. I ain't know what you call it. Cougar. He remind me of my son. Very compassionate. And Rob is the same way, a family man. I love when they do their meals and they sit down as a family. My children grew up in a home like that, where we sat down at the table and we had meals together. And SK1 and SK2 and the wife. And You know, sometimes she'll check Rob and say, you didn't ask me, or, you know, it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to see. I just love it, love it, love it. Okay, so yeah, I wish my mom could see what I'm doing now and see the influence that her parents had on me. And I'm going to tell you, that Bria is a bad barracuda. Bria knows a slug. Bria knows a snail turns into slug. When we were digging the dirt up to redo my garden bed in the greenhouse, she said, oh, here's a snail. It's going to turn into a slug. Oh, here's a ladybug. They eat aphids. Oh, here's a slug. We got to get rid of it. And she found a fat hornworm. I sit here and tell you all I had no hornworms a couple weeks ago. For a couple of years, because I got the black light and blah, blah, blah. Bria found a hornworm. Bria found a hornworm, guys, a fat one. You know what, where it was eating? I don't want to give my whole video away, but in a portion of my garden bed in the greenhouse where I didn't have the society garlic that the hornworms don't like the smell of, I had put 2 tomato plants that I accidentally left outside, and I thought they were just about dead. So I said, I'm going to plant them over here in this corner. And they, to my amazement, they grew like crazy. And they overshadowed the little pepper plant. The hornworm wasn't eating the pepper plant. I mean, the tomato plants. It was getting fat off the pepper plant. That was overshadowed by the tomato plants. I forgot the pepper plant was there. In fact, we pulled it up. She picked up, here's a hornworm. She says, it ain't dead, it's playing dead. She remembered me, because I taught her how they would play possum. You would lay it in your hand. I said, now watch me flip it over. And she said, see there? It's just scared. And then it moved. Y'all see it in my next video. That girl is bad. She knows, because I retired. And I kept her from when her mom went back to work in the school system when she was 6 weeks old. I talk about this all the time. Hey, Cynthia, Bria never had baby food. She ate out right out that garden. I said this before in the live. She ate that pot liquor. I mashed them peas and beans up. Y'all know it. Y'all know how mama and them used to make. We didn't have no baby food growing up. And the girl eats all vegetables. Her brother is so picky, it's ridiculous. I love Brian. Brian's cool, suave, laid back. Every now and then y'all see him doing a little dap in the video. He's real cool, but he's so picky. Okay? So yeah, get this little book, How to Grow a Little Tree. You will find that you don't need to buy dwarf trees. And you can get trees on sale everywhere now, except for fast-growing trees. Those trees were expensive that I bought. But I wanted to go ahead and get that Stella and get it started so that maybe if I'm lucky, it would produce some blooms and the bees will cross-pollinate them so that the cherry trees, the Rainier and the Windsor, will produce some cherries because they flower beautifully, but no fruit. Okay? Okay, thank you, Tia, for being here. Okay, so okra will grow everywhere. You don't need no fancy Miracle Grow or 10-10-10 or whatever you all use. You don't need it. If you don't have any comfrey tea, make compost tea. Make grass clippings tea. Make worm casting tea. I'm telling you guys, you don't need to be spending all your money on that. Spend your money on books and learn, and you will see you won't need it. My kids didn't have baby food either. All right, love notes. What fall seeds can I start now? And also, what fall seeds can I start now? I'm not going to start mine until, I know I said a few minutes ago about that cabbage and blah, 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 cabbage, broccoli, and cauliflower, but I forgot I'm going on vacation. I don't want them to burn up. I got to figure out how I'm going to do it. And I'll tell you all later when I get closer to the time where I'm going and when I'll be gone. Somebody, LeConte Middleton, I beg to differ from you about the chicken manure, but I don't have chickens. But I was told that when you cleaned out your chicken coop, you could put that right in your garden. And that's what I read and did research on. The chicken manure, I'll let you look it up. But he said, this person is saying chicken manure needs to be aged, but rabbit is safe to put on right away. Okay. I'm here to elevate and to motivate and to inspire. I'm not here for controversy. And I'm not saying that you are, but I'm not gonna look that up. I'll let you guys look that up. Somebody said something about bush beans. Those of you that have a live, you'll know the new format goes by so fast you can't see it. Because I was in my nephew, Broke Farmer 76 Live, and he didn't even know I was there the other day. I think it was yesterday. Okay. Said something about bush beans. My bush beans have taken off. I'm about to pop some black-eyed peas in some containers. In August, I'll be planting collards and kale. Very good, Y24 me 57. Yeah, I'll be growing all of that. I'll start mine when I come back from vacation in July. Okay, thank you for the pre-happy birthday. I'll tell y'all when it is. Okay, let me see if somebody can guess. Whoever can guess my birthday, you can start right now. Where's my pen? Whoever can guess my birthday, I'm going to send you some comfrey. You're not going to get it until the fall. Who can guess my birthday? I told you it's coming up. Okay, stop. Stop. Y'all can stop. But let me share this with you. If you came in late and you think you answered first, you may be wrong. The first person that I see that put down Independence Day, July 4th, is Debbie Epps. And she won. That's my birthday. Hey guys, let me share this with you. My late husband gave me my first birthday party when I was 19. We were engaged. And they thought because somebody got 7-Eleven, July 15th. Thank you, Love Notes. Well, I'm not going for a few weeks. But he gave me a surprise birthday party at my mom's house. I had no idea whatsoever. I had told him, you know how you getting to know people and stuff? And I said, my parents think because my birthday was July 4th, if they have me a cake and sparklers on my birthday and they give me a cake and say happy birthday to you. But the holiday, everybody was at the picnic for the Independence Day. It wasn't for me. So I always felt left out and I felt, you know, looked over. Because I never had my cake that had happy birthday Cheryl on it. And he remembered that. And that was my first birthday cake. When I was 19, my fiance bought it for me. That was my first birthday party ever. Now, my children have done things and, you know. But yeah. But that's it. Okay, so I got Debbie Epps is the winner tonight. And I'm going to be sending the comfrey out in the fall. And those of you that win, you don't have to pay for the postage. Free postage. I'm writing all this down. And those of you that if I have enough left and want to buy it, I'm not going to sell you the comfrey. I'm only going to ask you to send postage. Like I did with the Texas Star Hibiscus. And did you all see my community post? The Texas Star Hibiscus are blooming. And have you all seen on Facebook, this company is advertising hibiscus with honey to lower your blood pressure, to lower your cholesterol level, and to improve kidney function. See, I've been on the tip for the hibiscus. This is my 4th year. Either 4th or 5th year. I got a playlist of how to grow Texas Star Hibiscus. Doctor said, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. We're going to decrease your blood pressure medication. Texas Star Hibiscus. Don't go off your blood pressure. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm telling you, there are some things that you can do. If you're on metformin for diabetes 2, type 2, don't get off your medication. Always consult your doctor with whatever you do if you start that okra tea. I'm not telling nobody to get off your medication, okay? But I'm saying that my mother died of complications of diabetes, type 2. I don't want to. My father was on dialysis. I have a son that's on dialysis. I got a brother who's going into surgery to put the port in his arm to go on dialysis. It's hereditary, okay? I don't want to go. But if I have to, I will. But I'm trying to do everything I can to not go there, okay? All right. Okay, any more questions? Did I get everybody's question? Yep, July 4th is my birthday. I'm excited. I'm going to tell you what I do, a little trick. I start saying that I'm a certain age. Okay, when January comes, and I know my birthday is going to be that year, I start saying that I'm that age. So I always tell everybody I'm 67. So when my birthday comes, I'll be 67. When January comes, I'll say, they say, how old are you? I say, oh, I'll be 68 soon. So it doesn't bother me when my birthday comes. One, I better not say it because y'all going to think she's so conceited. Now I'm going to say it. I look good. I don't look like I'm 67. And I have a very youthful personality because of my children. You know what I'm saying? They keep me young. And thank you so much, Erica. Thank you. They keep me young. And a lot of stereotypes and things I used to say, Mama, don't say that. I know your mother used to say that and you say that, but times have changed. That is offensive. And they keep me up. They keep me up on, you know, the different lingo and technology and, you know, that type of thing. Okay, hibiscus, yes. And I got a white one that is getting ready to bloom any day on the east side of my food forest. So it comes in white or red. But the red makes the best tea because it's so pungent. The way it steeps is like beet juice. You know how red it gets? Yeah, I love it. Everybody's doing hibiscus tea. And I love hibiscus and peach tea. So I'm going to dehydrate my skins or peels to my apricots. And I'm going to mix that in with my hibiscus to make my tea. Okay. I have a question. My new peach tree is sending up. Oh, come on. See, if you go too fast, you miss it. Okay, I think it's saying, okay, my peach tree is sending up growth from the soil level. Why? Okay, that's a very good question because I cut off one today. Almost all fruit trees except like pomegranate, mango, papaya, any tree that you started from seed, soursop, like I started from seed. Most other trees are grafted to a durable root stock. Citrus trees, for example, they are grafted on a sour orange stock. So your peach tree was grafted onto a real durable stock. And if it's growing branches at the soil level, you'll see a little hump where the tree is grafted. You'll know it. It's a definite line of demarcation. Anything below that graft mark is coming from the rootstock. You need to cut it off because it's taking energy from the rest of the tree. Thank you, Stinky Puddle Rex. Thank you for being here. So anything growing at the soil level below the graft point, cut it off. I hope I answered your question. I know I did. Because it happened to me today. I saw when my apple tree was shooting out a branch out of the rootstock. I cut it off about 2 or 3 weeks ago and it started growing again. Okay. Okay, there's another question. I'm going to get it in just a second. Somebody's birthday is New Year's Eve. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's great. Your husband was so special. Yes, he was. Guys, all this hard work that I'm doing, he would have knocked that stuff out so fast. No, looking for a book mentioned earlier this year on previous video, the name of the book that shows you how to garden all year long. Yes, ma'am. I got it. You are talking about 4-Season Gardening by Elliot Coleman. You see, I'm researching something right here. 4-Season Garden by Elliot Coleman. And here are some other books. If you live in my area, Growing Good Things to Eat in Texas, you can go screenshot it or watch the replay. Oh, this is a vegetarian book. Good recipes. I like to look at vegan recipes. This is a really good book. Fruit and Vegetable Gardening in Texas. And somebody gifted me this book, The Encyclopedia All New for Organic Gardening. Anything you want to research about how to get rid of certain funguses and that type of thing, this book really has helped me. Okay? Because sometimes you can Google stuff and it could be wrong. Like the guy that talked about the chicken poop. He or she, whoever that was. You may be right, guys, but I read that on Google or whatever, and so I may be wrong. Nobody's perfect. I always tell people I am not a master gardener. I have mastered how to grow in my garden zone in that backyard because I've been in this house over 30 years. A good place to find cheap books is for you check resale stores. Yes, and one of these books, I don't remember which one it was, I got off of Amazon used. They have used books. But for those of you that have a lot of fruit and vegetables growing, try a lot of vegan recipes. I got about 5 of these books. Because I was vegan for 8 months. And I had a chicken wing. And it was over. Once I had that chicken wing, it was over. But I lost 42 pounds. And I gained it back. Most of it. Not all of it, but some of it back. But I check out a lot of vegan recipes to get an idea of what, how I can incorporate my fruits and vegetables in my garden. But yeah, I even went through Christmas and New Year's, and Thanksgiving that year, 8 months with no meat. But once I had a chicken wing, it was so good, guys. Dipped in a little ranch. It was over, and I started eating chicken again. And then slowly a little beef, and slowly a little, I'm just keeping it real with you all. I am not a person that eats like a bird. I like to eat, but I eat well. It only takes one chicken wing. That was it. I had a chicken wing, it was over. Next thing you know, I was having turkey tacos and enchiladas. And it was over. It was over. I had starved enough. But I do eat, but I eat I eat healthy, guys. I don't put no salt in my food unless I'm out. And I've been to a restaurant one time since the pandemic. All this time, I went one time. I don't even remember where I went. Oh, my son took me out, Trey. The one that had the situation with the torn ligament off his whole knee and all this stuff. Yeah, and I didn't know that they put in these acrylic dividers now in the booths in these restaurants now. I didn't know that, and so I feel a little bit more secure. And I had both of my vaccines, so I went ahead and went. But only time I have I eat a lot of whole foods. Hello, dear. I eat a lot of whole foods, but I don't even grow. Well, I got some potatoes growing for Maddie that was sprouting in my pantry. I won't even do a video on it. But I don't eat white potatoes. I don't eat rice. I don't eat white pasta. I eat whole wheat pasta. I don't eat, there are a lot of things that I don't eat. But the things that are healthy and that are good, I eat a lot of it. I'm not going to lie to you. If I'm hungry, I'm going to eat. Not a whole lot at one time. I try to have really 5 little mini meals. Okay. All right. Okay, guys, it's been a blast. I really enjoyed talking with all of you all. I don't know what I just did, but now I got the comments to come widescreen. I don't know what I did, but usually they be on the side. Maybe somebody listening in and they are helping me out. I don't know. Bless Too Good. Miss Nina, I took a break from YouTube for about 3 weeks. Yeah, Bless Too. Sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you have to do that. You have a lot going on in your life. Like I only did one video, I think this week. Well, last week since my live. Maybe 2, but they were real short because I was blessed to have a lot of orders. And so I have to do that. Angela says she used to be vegan too. It only takes one little chicken wing. That chicken wing, guys, you would have thought I was eating filet mignon. It was so good. It was so good because I hadn't had any for 7 months. Okay, well, if there aren't any more questions, did I get everybody's question? You're welcome. You're welcome, Lorraine T. Good night, everybody. You guys know I enjoy you. You guys know that I've been doing church online, and I wear little raggedy clothes working in my garden. I don't even put on earrings anymore. I put a little makeup on for you all on Monday night. Today, I even put on a necklace. I love you guys. Don't forget, grow your own, eat your own. It's not hard. You can do it. Now, sometimes it gets a little hard, but you can't give up, and you just got to try to figure out a smarter way to do it. And I'm going to show you in my next video how I put on a dolly those concrete blocks that I'm upgrading and renovating my garden bed. And let me share this with you all, because I don't think I said it in the video. The garden bed was there. I put the greenhouse around the garden bed. And the garden bed was on a slope, so it started flooding in the greenhouse. So I worked years to get that garden bed, that area elevated up. So I'm not going to take it all down and tear it up, the pavers on the floor, the brick pavers on the floor in the greenhouse to get the garden bed. So it's going to look a little crooked, but that's all right. I'm going to produce some food out of it. That's the main thing. It ain't going to be pretty, but it's going to work. Good night, everybody. Don't forget, God loves you too. Good night. Thank you all so much for coming.